I moved to Durango, obviously after being in the LA area, Malibu, Carpinteria, and we did a lot of music stuff out here. Prior, obviously moving to Durango, although was great for Tess, for my daughter, great for school, everything. It was not the best move professionally. So when I got there, I was working in cable television station doing production and sales in Durango. I had all kinds of relationships from the stuff that I'd done in California, and some Nashville relationships too, but essentially I wanted, Tess at the time was 3, and in those days we didn't have the same technology we do now, so I could not go back and forth. So the idea was, because I did know some people, was to bring them to Durango and start what originally the Durango Songwriters Expo. I think we had maybe 50 attendees, and they were generally, regional, right? Because Durango, not an easy place to get to. The one saving grace was I did have some pretty substantial industry contacts, and I'd worked pretty closely with Tony Ferguson at Interscope Records. So Tony and our friend Michael Lasco at Taxi got together, Marshall Altman, a bunch of LA industry people, primarily at that time A&R and publishing people. We had this band called The Roommates in LA, and this guy who had been involved with us on some of the videos we'd done knew Nelson Larkin really well. Nelson Larkin was Toby Keith's original producer. And so Nelson came out and he brought Walt Aldridge and Gary Baker. And so, Walt, one of the all-time great country songwriters, Gary Baker, I Swear, all those great songs. So the way it evolved initially was the first couple of years in Durango, the talent level was about what you would expect. Not great, but everybody loved it. But the industry people specifically loved it because we started getting those hit songwriters there. And then Jeffrey Steele came with Hillary Lindsay. Jeffrey wrote 3 #1 songs at the Durango Songwriters Expo, including My Town, What Hurts the Most, which he wrote actually in one of the early Santa Barbara when we moved to California. Word started spreading that there were some incredible industry people coming to the expo, and so the talent started getting better. So Alyssa Moreno came. She came, I think, she was living in Santa Fe at the time before she went to California. She won our first contest and wrote with Jeffrey Steele, and that was Every Day, right? Was what became a big hit. She, as a result of winning the contest. So eventually what happened in Durango was, after 10 years of basically having a lot of great songwriters, hit songwriters, and things happening there, we did it, the place we did it at Tamaron, which was a beautiful resort in the mountains, got sold to a private golf club, and they just tore down the facilities. So we had to move it. This is the Colorado event, obviously. So we were at 1 year at Telluride and 1 year at Park City, and then we moved it to where it is now, obviously in Denver and Boulder. We started the California Expo, I think it's 19 years ago, started in Santa Barbara wine country. That's the period of time where Megan Trainor started coming, and she came to 4 of the expos and was signed, I think, at either the 4th, 5th one at the Colorado event. Her and Chris Gilbuda were signed to deals at the same time to Big Yellow Dog. And then, as far as the California event was concerned, went through a thing with the Marriott and Buellton in Santa Barbara wine country where they changed management. And they wanted to not honor our contract, so By that time, we had also started our May Film and TV event right here at the Crown Plaza in Ventura. So we moved the event that happens here, moved that from the Marriott in Santa Barbara Wine Country, which was the best move we could have ever made, because what happened was LA artists, struggling artists, writers from LA couldn't afford to come all the way up to Santa Barbara Wine Country. It's additional 80 miles. They could come to Ventura easily. So one of the huge things that happened talent-wise was coming here just really increased the opportunities for people who were extremely talented but really didn't have the resources to come to Buellton, Santa Barbara Wine Country. I had been to a lot of events in LA. I've been to, it used to be the National Academy of Songwriters, and then LA Songwriters, they had these big events where there would be like 1,000 to 2,000 people. People would be, paying a pretty significant amount of money to really get nothing. Some information, but they certainly couldn't get heard, nor could they really mingle, because no industry people are going to want to be bombarded by 2,000 people. It's asking too much. So Durango started with the idea of giving everybody a legitimate opportunity to really get heard and to meet people, and to meet significant people that potentially could help them advance their careers. The reason the spirit, I think, which we all see, that is the sense of community, this is Durango, evolved because I think everybody realized quickly, including the industry people, that this event was special in the sense that it was a community, and it was always intended to be a community, which is why we always limited to 200 attendees, and always have done that and always will. And there's 35 to 40 industry people here, so you just not going to see those kind of ratios and those kinds of opportunities. I had seen how people had just not really been granted a legitimate opportunity, so that was the essence of how we started. I would say the first was probably, you know who Jessie Alexander is? Jessie Alexander is a really big Nashville writer. She came to either one of the first or second Durangos. She met a guy there, I'm trying to remember Shane's last name. At that time, he was working in Nashville at MCA, which is now Universal, and he signed Jessie as a result of her being there. And I mean, she wrote the huge song with Miley Cyrus. What was that enormous song? The Climb. So I would say she was the first, and then Alyssa shortly after came. She came and signed a deal, and then, as I say, she won our first songwriting contest, and then wrote with Jeffrey Steele Every Day, which was a huge hit for Rascal Flatts. Then if you go down the list, I mean, Megan Trainor, who was so cool, young girl from Cape Cod, from Nantucket. Her parents had a convenience store there. I remember when she first came, she sent me some tracks, and I called her and I said, well, where'd you do these? These are really, really well done. She said, I just did them with Logic. I mean, she was precocious, not only as a writer and a singer, but also production skills. So, and then, obviously, Crisco Buda getting signed at the same time. We've had a ton of film and TV placements, significance. Carlene Martina, who have been a huge part of Durango. Our good friend MG, Michael Gross, got them a Super Bowl commercial as a result of Durango last year. So I'm sure there are more. I'm just trying to think. You might even know some more. There's a lot that
I'm
happened.
thinking of there's Sophie Rose.
Sophie Rose,
she
right?
Had her deal with prescription. And
Right. Sophie Rose was signed here. Yeah, I mean, I got it. There's Ken Johnson.
Ken Johnson. Tony.
Oh yeah, it was signed here
Ferrari.
Peter
Lloyd signed him.
Disney signed him as a result here. Yeah, there's been a lot of signings and a huge amount of placements.
So many wonderful things that happened out of Durango. It's like hard to even keep count
It
or
is.
any kind of measure.
It is.
Yeah.
I'll think back and then remember that, oh God, I completely, that happened here, right?
Yeah.
That happened here. All kinds of stuff happened here. And then the hit songs that have been written here, that's pretty amazing too, when you think about it. So.
A lot of magic this event carries with it.
A lot of
A lot of
magic.
creative spirit.
And creative spirit and no attitude. So in the very early days, we had a couple of LA A&R people that fit the mold of what you would think old school A&R people were in LA. They came and they came one time, and that was it. Because if they're not there for the right reasons, they don't come back. And generally, as far as attendees are concerned, as we always say, if you're coming to Durango, you really should be coming to get better, and embrace the opportunity and the inspiration that comes from it. And so, that's what you see. I mean, everybody here literally is overjoyed to be here, as we see every time, which amazes me too. It's incredible. Just hearing what everybody said this weekend, same as always, right? So, and having such incredible people, staff, like Jolene, all the people, Vince, Aaron, John, all the people who are involved in this are also really great songwriters, and they're doing it because they believe in Durango and they believe in the community and what it represents. First of all, I think the industry people realize the talent level just off the charts here. I mean, it's evolved to such a point that as we talk about trying to pick these showcases is just excruciating. It's just too much fabulous talent. So, several reasons. First of all, they love it. They love the spirit of it. It also, especially these days, with the importance of sync in relation to A&R and publishing, it gives a chance to interact with people who can be very beneficial. One of the things we do is pair A&R and publishing people together with sync people on these listening sessions, and it works in the sense that it works for attendees and giving them two different perspectives and two different opportunities, but it also works for the industry people because the interaction between the two is incredibly important these days, especially since we don't have any album sales or we don't have that kind of revenue. So I think the industry people genuinely love this event, for the spirit of it, for the talent, and also for them, it presents a lot of great opportunities. I think it's important, first of all, when somebody's coming, especially first-time people, obviously they don't know really what they're getting into. I mean, they've heard, right? But I think it's really important for me to talk to everybody on the phone, get an idea of what they do. I always have them send me a couple of songs to help them as far as listening session choices, the personal interaction. If everybody's talking to me who comes here, they really know that this is important to us to get them everything they can get out of this. And I think always from the start, I think it was really important to make people feel like they're special, which they are, but to get the attention they deserved. And there's really no shortcuts for doing that. It's worthwhile also for us to talk to them and hear their stuff, because it means they're probably going to end up in sessions that are better suited for them. Because a lot of people, when they're coming here, they might have an idea, but they don't always know where they should be. And if I hear what they're doing, then it's not only really helpful for them, it's also helpful for us. But it's something that will always be a part of Durango. And I think if we ever lost that, we'd lose Durango.